It's time for another wrestling podcast.
All right. Are you fucking kidding me?
Guys, I got blocked again on Twitter.
I'm your mark of marks.
That's the most reliable source on the interwebs.
The social assassin at your disposal, bitches.
So I just got off the phone with one Tony Schiavone.
Schiavone!
I was so looking forward to this phone call, right? Because I had this whole story I wanted to tell him, right? And I was actually thinking maybe I can record it and play it for the podcast. But it's this great story. Do you remember an episode where he talks about how he was wearing, how Flair was the Black Scorpion?
Yeah.
And everybody, when this Black Scorpion came out, knew it was Flair because of his beak. He's got that big-ass nose, right?
Yeah.
And Schiavone in one of the episodes tells this story about how fucking Flair told him to come down to his room, and he didn't want to go down there, but he ends up going down to the room, and Flair opens the door wearing the Black Scorpion mask and his robe and says, "Sting, how can you contend with this?" And opens up his robe, and there's a full-fledged baby's arm holding the apple, right?
Okay.
So the reason I bring up this story is because we had, me and my friend Mike Shapiro, who you've heard me talk about from time to time, we always go to this one bar, and the bartender has this huge fucking nose. Huge. So every time we would call her name, she would like look over at us, and we would both duck, just to be assholes. And she never got the joke that we were ducking because we didn't want to get poked in the eye with that big schnoz of hers, right?
Yeah.
So this is literally how me and Shapiro became really good friends, because he went to the bathroom one day, and I called the bartender over there, who shall remain nameless, right? And I said, when he comes back, hand him a beer, and I want you to say, "Shapiro, how can you contend with this?" Right? So she does it, and he's fucking dying. He's laughing so hard that the tears are coming down his eyes, right? And I'm laughing because everybody is staring at him, and they don't get the fucking joke. And neither does the bartender, and she is the fucking joke. Now, this is the story that I want to tell Tony Schiavone, right? He calls me. I'm in the middle of taking a shit. And it's the most awkward phone call because I'm literally straining. Like, I haven't shit for 3 days. And Tony Schiavone calls me in the middle of this. And you know me, I answer my phone because I just answer my phone. I have no shame. So instead of getting to tell him this great story, I'm kind of rushing Tony Schiavone off the phone so I can finish taking shit.
I would have just let it flow.
I just didn't have it in me,
You got to shit, man.
Dude, some things were more important, and you know what?
Hopefully, I'm sure he'd understand.
I think he would.
Sure he'd understand.
This is my life, bro. I can't fucking win once.
Yeah.
But I will mention this. I will give him some props, because I did order stuff from him and from Bruce Pritchard on the exact same order, right?
Yeah.
Schiavone called me first.
Well, I got the Bruce Pritchard call.
I know you got the Bruce Pritchard call, but I'm saying...
And it was great. Did he call you from a blocked number?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
Bro. I'm not expecting these guys to give you, but
I know.
that's just so awesome that they actually call and thank you. That's fantastic.
I normally don't answer blocked numbers. I let it go to voicemail, but for some reason I answered that call the one day, and it was Bruce Pritchard.
I always answer those phone calls, bro, because I like to fucking record myself making fun of these fucking telemarketers.
Yeah, and I answered the call. Bruce Pritchard was on the other line. I did not believe it was him at first. I really didn't. And I remember him saying he calls his fans who buy T-shirts. I didn't think he actually did, but he called me, and he thanked me. I got to choose any impression I wanted for him to thank me in. And then just the only impression I wanted to hear him do on the phone was good old Jim Cornette.
Oh
right.
Man, I'm all about the do, and I don't think he's gonna give me a choice, because I literally bought 2 of these do fanny packs as a gag gift for somebody. One for me and one for fucking a buddy of mine. And dude, this is It's just gone too far. But let's talk about a little wrestling this week now that we got our fucking markouts of the day out of the way. And
Shooting the shit, literally?
Yeah, literally. You said you wanted to shoot the shit, bro, so we're shooting the shit.
Well, you shot the shit with Tony Schiavone, no pun intended.
Yeah, literally, dude. So tell me about this, because I watched this Becky Lynch thing, and I'm just not a fan of this.
It really bothered me, man. It really did. And, like, here's the thing, like, I love Becky Lynch. I love this Conor McGregor persona that she has. I think it's great. And she is a big deal. But the way that she's being, like, booked and the storylines, I'm just not buying into it. Like, everyone wants to compare her to Stone Cold. And that was cool at first, but now it's like she tapped to Asuka.
Yes.
Stone Cold never tapped out. You know, he passed out in the sharpshooter. And now you have Becky apologizing to the McMahons. Okay, and I've heard numerous people talk about this, and I agree. And with the fact that, why are you having her apologize? If she is who she are. All right, you're going to understand this. So, remember UFC 200, when the main event was supposed to be Conor McGregor and Nate Diaz?
Yes.
Okay, and that would have been a huge fucking payday for McGregor. Bigger than UFC 202. However, McGregor didn't want to do any media obligations. And instead of, giving in to the company, he said, fuck you, I'm not doing this. And therefore, he got pulled off one of the biggest cards in UFC history.
Oh, Jesus.
And lost a shitload of money.
This is true.
Okay? That's why people actually like Conor McGregor and respect him, because he doesn't give in to the man. He does what the fuck he wants when he wants. And that's why he's so popular. Now we're going to go back to Becky Lynch, which you have a main event spot at WrestleMania, but you have to apologize to the McMahon family in order to get that spot. I think if you want to put Becky over as this Stone Cold type character, she should have really just gave them the finger and said, fuck you, I'm not apologizing for nobody, I am who I am. And that would have got the shit stirring, and that would have got the fans going nuts. And then that's when you bring in Vince McMahon to suspend her and bring in Charlotte. That's how you do it. You don't have Becky from the opening segment on Raw contemplating all the way to the closing segment at Raw if she's going to apologize or not. Like,
that gave me douche chills. The fact that we're going to break and, well, later on the program, will Becky Lynch apologize? I'm like, I want you to tell me what the fucking, like, you should be advertising a main event, not if a bitch is going to apologize or not. Here, let me throw something else out at you, because it's not even that really bothers me. She should have just apologized right at the beginning of the program and got it over with and moved on to something else.
Yeah,
because you know what? At the end of the day, when do the McMahons ever apologize to anybody? And they apologize to her, both of them. So just get it out of the way. I don't know why this has to be a fucking storyline.
Yeah.
I think she should have apologized and maybe had Ronda come out there and maybe even attack her.
Yeah. Well, I mean, one of the funniest things of that last segment, and if you haven't heard this, go back and watch it, that when they were like, we just want to hear you say 2 words. And you know how, like, there's always that one heckling fan that you hear out of everything that stands out the most?
Okay.
There was this one fan, it's like, they mentioned, it's like, we just want to hear you say 2 words. And then you just hear one fan go, suck it! Imagine.
Yes.
Imagine fucking Becky Lynch telling Triple H to suck it.
Right in front of his wife. Ugh.
Oh, that would have been great. But, back to the whole thing, like, I don't think she should have apologized. I think they should have just did some storyline to get her over even more. I mean, she's over, but I think if she would have just said fuck you to them, it would have been a hit. And you want to know something I noticed too? They're trying to get away from the knee angle.
Yeah, and that's why I'm saying they should have just had her apologized and moved on to something else. I think they should have had. I don't like when talking segments need to be dragged out.
Yeah.
If you're gonna drag it out to some type of match at the end of the show or some type of altercation, dude, I'm not trying to sit around for 3 hours to see if a fucking redhead is gonna apologize to a fucking McMahon. I'm sorry. I'm just not. Now let's move on to something else because I'm not understanding something and maybe I missed.
Hold on. Before we go on to something else, now let's stay here for a second because one of the biggest things that people are flipping out about is the fact that Charlotte's being input into this match. Now, here's my thing. Like I've always said that like I want a traditional one-on-one main event. I love the one-on-one traditional matches, especially for a title at WrestleMania. I really want Becky versus Ronda one-on-one. However, we all knew that somehow, someway, Charlotte was going to get inserted into this match. Therefore, I've learned to accept it. I'm fine with it. I'm cool with it. Now, Charlotte, one of the best wrestlers in that company. Do you agree?
Oh, yeah. And I said this a few episodes ago during the Survivor Series thing. I said that I think when Becky got pulled from the Survivor Series match, I think the initial plan, at least from my mind, was going to be take your best star, which would have been Charlotte Flair, and put her up against Ronda for WrestleMania. But the fact that Becky just got so over and that this is something bigger that the fans want to see, it was a fluke and nobody expected it to happen. But it did.
Yeah. But, like, people are bitching and complaining that Charlotte's in this match. She's being shoehorned right in the match. I mean, on the YouTube, on their YouTube page, that video of Vince McMahon bringing out Charlotte is now the #1 most disliked video on the WWE YouTube page. And fans are just going nuts. They are, like, hateful on this. They are flipping out. You go on Twitter, and fans are like, I'm not surprised I haven't seen hashtag canceled network, WWE Network yet because of this. I mean, it's insane. Go on Twitter and see these people bitching and complaining. Somebody, and I screenshotted it, and I'm going to find it right now because I'm going to read this to you. Like, literally, moments after Raw went off the air, I happened to be on Facebook, and I was in our Marks group, and this one fan, and I found it, posted in the group. I'm going to read this to you. Where'd it go? I just lost it. All right, here it is. So I'm gonna leave his name out of it because he does actually follow us on Twitter and he's a cool dude, but this wasn't cool. It says, "I'll be that guy. Fuck Vince McMahon. You stupid geezer, delusional fool. You bury WWE more and more by the week. The only thing that should be buried is you.
Oh.
Retire or drop dead. Charlotte Flair, ... Fuck her too. This show is pathetic. I know Becky will end up in the main event, but this story is beyond stupid now, and it better not turn into a triple threat. Fuck you, Vince. Hashtag fuck you."
Wow.
Can someone tell this guy that it's predetermined and scripted?
Well, here's two things that I'm going to say. One, you could make the argument if it wasn't for Charlotte, this character of Becky Lynch wouldn't have even existed.
Exactly.
Okay? So I think, and the fact that Charlotte was probably initially supposed to have this WrestleMania slot, if it wasn't for Nia Jax breaking fucking Becky's face, we wouldn't even be having this conversation. All right? Yeah. Two, I don't know how much faith you really want to have if this is going to be the main event for WrestleMania. Somebody like Ronda, who is a great athlete and has been doing a great job in the ring. But you and I had this conversation last week. Different type of butterflies. This is going to be New York. Over 80,000, okay? Booing the shit out of her. Is she going to be able to stand that type of pressure? This isn't a cage fight. This is not a shoot. This is a work where you're going to, every little minor detail, should you fuck up, is going to be,
Yeah.
I don't know.
No.
That being said, let's move it on. Somebody explain to me what the fuck happened to Mustafa Ali real quick.
He has a damaged tailbone, allegedly, from what happened. And he was not medically cleared. I guess something happened on SmackDown, that choke slam through the table that Rowan put him through, and then something happened at a house show on Sunday, and the medical staff said he was not cleared to perform. And that sucks.
Yeah.
Because I think that spot in that gauntlet match was going to be Mustafa Ali's spot. And instead, it went to Kofi. And I'm not knocking Kofi. I think Kofi deserves all the shine that he can get.
Fuck yeah, bro. And he shined big this week.
Yeah, but that spot, I think, was supposed to be Mustafa Ali. I think Mustafa Ali was supposed to be the Iron Man in that gauntlet match and just, kind of stand out. And it sucks that he's not going to get that moment. And I hope that when he comes back that, they put him right back up there in, like, sort of the main event position with, like, a guy like Joe or something like that. And I hope he has a bright future, because that guy is so talented. I mean, granted, you love his theme song. You really do. However,
I'ma go hard. Shut the fuck up.
Besides his theme song, I think the guy not only can cut an amazing promo,
yes,
but is amazing in the ring in general.
Okay.
So I really hope that this isn't a sign to Vince that says, he's injury prone. Put him on Superstars.
Well, that's what happens when you put him up against the fucking upside down Sheamus, who only really works about 3 months out of the fucking year, because he's always hurt. So, you know what? Assholes make assholes. Moving on. I am going to laugh. Let's talk about this. I know I'm the last person who ever wants to talk about AEW. I am. But this makes me chuckle, bro. This pre-sale debacle. What the fuck, dude? What happened? Can't your boys fucking sell tickets?
You know what? I don't think it's their fault in a way, but I mean, like, it's their mess up. Now, I mean, I don't want to go on record or go on, like, being the source of this information,
right,
because I did try to look this stuff up, and I couldn't really come off anything reliable except for fans bitching. But allegedly what they did is they gave out the pre-sale password to people that signed up.
Okay.
Now, the night of the last week when they had their press conference and they gave you the information, their website crashed because there's so many people going on trying to sign up.
Right.
So I guess Sunday or Monday, they gave out the emails that had the pre-sale passwords where you can get tickets. I don't think they realized or planned it out that, you have third-party outlets like a StubHub or a SeatGeek. They are going to get a hold of that pre-sale password, and they are going to buy as many tickets as they possibly can so they can increase that value on their website and sell it for triple to quadruple the amount. So apparently what happened was exactly what I just said. StubHub went on and bought out a shitload of tickets during the pre-sale to where fans couldn't even get tickets. Like, I had one fan that wanted to get a $30 ticket that's in the upper deck and couldn't find it, but you go on StubHub, that $30 ticket is now $230. It's crazy.
That's
and then
fucked up.
I don't think they put a limitation on how many tickets are going to be sold in the presale, because the WB is pretty good at only opening a select amount of tickets for the presales when they do them. I don't think AEW did that. I think they just kind of just said, here's the presale password, go at it. Because I guess they allegedly, but rumors going around that they sold out during the pre-sale. I don't believe that, because tickets went on sale today and they sold out the remaining tickets that they had in about 4 minutes. Now, whether it was fans that bought the tickets or it was actual third parties that just bought everything, I mean, we won't really know until, some facts are laid out there. But I don't know, man. I'm a huge supporter of AEW. I really am. And I want to see them succeed for the business, because at the end of the day, if they succeed, I believe in the saying iron sharpens iron, and I think
Yes.
if they're succeeding, I think WB will step their game up knowing that another company is succeeding, and I think ROH will step their game up, and you got MLW that will step their game up, Impact will step their game up, and at the end of the day, it's us fans that have options everywhere. I want them to succeed. I really do. But a lot of the stuff they're doing, it's just like, come on, guys.
It's Bush League, bro. It is, and it's sad because here's my argument because and hear this out. I don't want to talk about them. I don't want to talk about them because like we do a wrestling podcast. I want to talk about the shows and what I'm like, what I saw. Like I know we're not another recap show. We try not to be, but like, what the fuck else are we supposed to talk about? We spend so much time talking about these guys, and I'm like, well, when there's something like that I can analyze as a fan, other than a press conference or a Facebook Live or whatever the fuck it is, then we'll do it. But we have way too many, it seems like, talent who are in these, I don't know, I don't want to say management positions, but it seems like everybody's a fucking executive vice president. Well, that's kind of the problem when you have talent instead of promoters who are in these positions. We have very wealthy owners. We have great talent in management positions, and that's probably the worst thing. At least when WCW had the same problem, you had somebody like Eric Bischoff in the middle who was the buffer, who could kind of sort of make a little bit of, keep the chaos down to a minimum.
Yeah. You know what? You bring up the whole executive vice president thing. I've discovered that I think we're being ribbed with that. I really do.
Okay.
Because they constantly bring up, how on being the elite, they always argue about how they're the executive vice president, or Cody says he's executive vice president. I've never seen a company with multiple executive vice presidents. I never have. And everybody is an executive vice president. I don't think they're that dumb. I think we're just being ribbed, and they're just doing that to get their show over, because they always argue on being the elite of who is the executive vice president and all that stuff. I think that's just a rib, because they bring out a lot of their storylines from being the elite onto whatever they're doing.
Well, they don't have much of a choice because, motherfucker, they don't have a TV show.
Well, yeah, they're not going to have a TV show. I mean, allegedly, okay? I mean, they're supposed to be negotiating with TNT or TBS, which that would be cool to see wrestling on TNT again. That's a great platform for them. But, I mean, we don't know until, we find out something. I mean, Jericho went on record to say that he wasn't going to sign with the company unless he knew for a fact that they have, a bright future with a great TV deal. And I kind of believe Jericho on that, because he's the type of guy that he ain't going to do it unless it's right for him. And like, he could have went back to the WWE, but he didn't do it because it wasn't right.
See, this is where I disagree with you on that. And okay. The reason being is, who gives a fuck about a TV deal? He's gone on record about saying how great the money is.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so if he's going to get paid the same whether he's on fucking TNT, whether he's on CBS, or if he's on the fucking puppy channel piggybacking Impact, bro. So I take that with a grain of salt. I think that's just something that he said off the cuff to keep the fans, very hopeful. Because, I mean, nothing was written in stone. Because if it was, motherfucker, you've had 2 press conferences since then. Why wouldn't you fucking announce a TV deal?
I want to see them succeed. I really do. So I hope that, within the next couple of weeks, we start seeing some progress with stuff. I mean, I've been arguing with you about this from day one, and I'm going to continue supporting them, and I'm going to defend what I feel is right to defend. But with this whole ticket sales selling out, but StubHub buying this, and then I wasn't really a big fan of the press conference. And yeah, Kenny versus Jericho could, attract casual fans because the casual fans love Jericho, but it doesn't really do something for me because I've already seen it. I have, and it's just, I don't know, that Double or Nothing card. It's just really it's not standing out to me. It really isn't. And I want to see stories, is what I'm trying to say too. I want to see
know you're
something
big on
building
that.
to it.
And here's a dumb question for you. How many of those tickets, percent-wise, do you think that the house is going to take? Because casinos usually buy up a portion of these seats to give them out to high rollers and stuff.
Oh, yeah.
So I mean, dude, I don't think you're going to have to worry about them selling out the building. I think you're going to have to worry about the quality of the fan. Because, dude, if StubHub is going to jack up these prices for these kind of tickets, like, I think I saw seats for like over $2,000
On the floor.
And I'm like, dude, you're not paying that. You're paying that for WrestleMania, and this is Vegas. Nobody's going to pay that for that kind of weekend, bro.
I've been one to drop $2,000 in Vegas before, so.
Yeah, but not on one ticket, Mike.
No,
not on one ticket.
On a lot of fun things.
Of course, dude. I'm with you, bro. Believe me. But at the end of the day, if you're not paying that for one ticket in Vegas, especially on Memorial Day weekend. Sorry. I think you've priced a lot of people out that you would want in that building for your first big show. For your first show, allegedly.
That $2,000, it's not them. That's StubHub.
Yeah, but somebody has to buy those tickets, bro.
I know, but those floor seats, I guess, I might be wrong on the price, but I don't think it was anything more than $170 to $200 in that range for those floor seats. And at StubHub got them, and they added a couple more zeros to the end of that 200.
That's my point. You've priced out. StubHub is going to ruin this event, and is going to price out a lot of the fans that would love to be a part of that weekend. And it's already going to be an expensive weekend because of what you mentioned last week. It's Memorial Day weekend. It's tough to get hotels. It's tough to get. I mean, MGM, I'm surprised, was willing to do this. I mean, there's a lot of shit that goes on Memorial Day weekend over there.
Well, I mean, God bless Conrad Thompson, because of the fact that guy. I saw this online, and I saw a website, the StarCast website.
Yeah.
You can go onto that website, and they will have. He's already booked, or not booked, but he's already worked out deals with hotels on the Strip, where you can get a 20% off by booking through that website, and it has promotion codes and all that stuff. So they'll save some money on the hotel stay if they go through StarCast.
Yeah.
However, the flights out there, I mean, for Memorial Day weekend, I mean, that's out of the hands of Vegas. That's not Vegas. That's the airlines, because the airlines know that people are traveling on Memorial Day weekend. It's a holiday weekend, so they're going to jack the prices up on flights. I mean, I wanted to go to Vegas, and on any other weekend, any other day, you can get a flight out of JFK to Vegas for under $200 sometimes, round trip.
Jesus.
Yeah, it depends on what airline you fly on. And then, I mean, I can get free rooms in Vegas because I'm a gambler. And then I gamble a lot. And when I went to Vegas,
you have sex without condoms?
Sometimes.
There you go.
But, I mean, and any other night, if you wanted to book a room in Vegas, you can get them cheap. Maybe $47 to $100 a night, depending on the night. But it's Memorial Day weekend. So if you don't go through Conrad Thompson to get your rooms, you're going to be paying a shitload of money. No fan is staying at MGM.
No.
I'll say that right now.
No.
Because that, on a Memorial Day weekend, on a big place like MGM, those rooms could be $2,000 a night. And that's out of the Bucks and Cody's hands. That's MGM on their own doing it.
Oh, yeah. Let's sign the fuck off, and the second half of this episode is going to be me and the Mark Father himself.
It's been real, but the minority has to go. And yeah, I wanted to come up with something better to say, but I couldn't come off the spot right now.
I'll say it for you. We're going to put you on the other side of the wall, motherfucker.
No one puts baby in the corner.
did I, Credo, Mark Father, whatever the fuck we're supposed to call you, how did I become the responsible one all of a sudden? I'm the one who shows up to all the episodes. I'm the one who shows up sober. I'm the one chastising you in Cologne for bullshit.
It's 2019, baby. The world is changing. The tides are moving. We're in different worlds, different places, different times. But we all come together under our God of wrestling. We all come together for him every week, man. But you and Mike got the pleasure of talking about some news. I finally made it. The Elimination Chamber's happening, man. So let's see what's going on with that, because this is the road to WrestleMania, Cooter. So not only do I want to kind of get your idea of who's going to win some of these matches, I want to know from both of us, honestly, what their road is going to look like after this weekend. So let's talk some Elimination Chamber, shall we?
Let's do this. What do we got, bro?
All right, man. No particular order, but I guess start from the bottom and work our way up. Bottom for Baron Corbin versus Braun Strowman in a no DQ match. Cooter, Braun Strowman was like an inch from the yard line from scoring that touchdown and being a main eventer, and what happened, man? Now he's going against Baron Corbin in a no DQ match for the show. A throwaway match?
Throwaway match. I mean, because there's nothing at stake at this point, right? There's no, like the last time they had the match, there was the GM was on the line and his title shot was on the line and all this shit. And it's just like, you know what? If there's nothing on the line, why are we even having a no DQs match? Why? Just so we could just see Braun Strowman beat the piss out of somebody using some gimmicks, which is always fun.
What's so sad is that Baron Corbin was a monster himself, not as like Braun Strowman, but he's a big guy. Had a great gimmick. That hair had to go. It finally went, but then he put on a suit, and he's not the GM anymore. Like, why can't he go back to his kind of like grunge, heavy metal Baron Corbin way? Like, let's. They made him into a pussy.
I hate it. And you know what's sad is because he's not a bad worker. He's not the greatest.
He's the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal winner.
Oh yeah, great. in the illustrious list of fuckboys over the years who have actually won that piece of shit trophy. The only one deservingly is the Big Show, and that motherfucker was like, that's at the end of his career.
Cesaro, Big Show, Baron Corbin, Matt Hardy. What a weird combination of guys.
No, not Matt Hardy.
Matt Hardy won. Matt Hardy was I think it was like last year or the year before.
Oh my God, no! But you're missing somebody.
There's somebody else in between. I don't remember. Cesaro.
Zack Ryder's partner from NXT.
I don't know.
Just hype.
Well, look how great this match is that we're trying to figure out.
Well, how do you not know Mojo Rawley, bro?
Mojo Rawley. He's coming back. Not even on this card yet, but that's right, Mojo. But look how great this match is. Like I was saying, is that we're fucking talking about one of the worst fucking annual matches, I guess. Anyway, Baron Corbin, Braun Strowman, Cooter. Who's winning? And what's happening after this match? Like, what's their road look like?
Honestly, who cares at this point for either of these two? And it's so sad because, like, dude, I know you. It's fun to see some of the stuff that they have Braun Strowman do. And I don't really need to see a belt on him, and I don't even need to see him in the title picture.
Yeah.
I mean, I think he needs to be somewhere, like, close to the top of the card for his gimmick to really be over. Do you know what I mean? Like, just can't have some mid-carder beating the fuck out of everybody and tipping over trucks. But you can't put a belt on him because it just doesn't seem believable to beat him with all the shit that you have him do on television.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, I hate that.
I know. And it's like if they do give it to him, if he ever does become a Universal or WWE champion.
How do you get it off him?
Exactly. It's going to be quick, and it's going to be something where he gets, like, stripped of it or something like that. You know what I mean?
And it's literally like what I said. He kind of sort of falls in that Andre the Giant realm where it's like Andre didn't need a belt, but he was undefeated. And
when he had it for a brief second in his hands, it was like, I don't really want it on him. You know, like it didn't. It wasn't him. You know.
Yeah.
Anyway, so Baron Corbin, Braun Strowman, easy win right here, and on the road to WrestleMania, man.
No direction for either of them, right?
What's that?
No direction for either of them.
Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal, baby. That's all I can think of right now. And then they give it to Braun this year. That's the only thing I could think of. That's
God, he's going to be like Andre, honestly. Like, it's true what I'm saying.
Yep.
The king of the Battle Royal. He won the greatest Royal Rumble ever, one of your favorite ever fucking events.
And now he's doing this match. Main evented, turning over cars. Now he's going against Baron Corbin. I can't believe how long we talked about that one. Cruiserweight match, though, man. Now, Buddy Murphy versus Akira Tozawa. Now, 2 more pay-per-views, right? This, Fastlane, then WrestleMania. Man, I can't believe there's 2 more pay-per-views until Mania. But it's like, why take the belt off? When they have 2 pay-per-views before Mania, there's no need to change any title or any championship right this minute. Maybe off of Shane McMahon, but I don't know. It's too quick, right? I mean, like, why lose it now just to win it back, or why lose? It's a weird decision to take any title off of anybody.
It's just a filler match. What I find very interesting is the fact that we've been promised some restocking of the shelves for 205 Live. The roster's gotten very bland. It's starting to look like the days of the WWE, WWF light heavyweight division, where there was like
same
five
same guys.
And a lot of the guys who I'd love to see in a title picture, you just don't see. And I'm like, okay, Buddy Murphy is a great talent. Akira Tozawa is a great talent. But this is just going to be a great match to watch, and I hope they keep the belt on Murphy. I hope we get to see God. Why am I so bad with names lately?
Trust me, man, I can't remember anybody's name, even after I meet the person like 5 minutes later.
Bobby Lashley's mouthpiece. I always
Leo Rush. He's got his own match next.
Who's he against? Oh, he's with Bobby Lashley.
And Finn Balor.
Against
Triple threat.
No, it's not a triple threat.
Well, handicap, I mean, yeah.
Handicap match.
2-1.
Let's go. Nice segue, right?
Yeah, nice segue. I mean, the cruiserweight's cruiserweight, but this is, once again, another championship match, I believe, right? And why take the belt off of him? Just to put it, okay, if you put the belt on Finn Balor, awesome, that's great. But then you have 2 more shows to Mania, and if that happens, it's like, if he goes in there as IC champion, I would want him to win as IC champion. I don't want that to change so quick. But, what if you put it on Leo Rush? What if they don't even want him on 205 Live anymore and make him, he's a small guy that can hang with the main eventers, a Rey Mysterio character or whatnot. Could you imagine putting that on a Leo Rush and then have a ladder match at Mania, and then they could go to somebody else kind of a thing? But that'd be different.
You know what drives me nuts is you guys are on that dick of Finn Balor, and I'm not one of those dudes. Like, I think he's a decent wrestler. He's got a great little gimmick, but honestly, and that's when he's doing the demon character. I am not one of those guys. I'm just not. Bro, he's got to stop smiling, first of all.
I know.
Stop smiling, bro. You look like he looks like a fucking Irish idiot who's high all the time. That he's just so high he can't stop smiling. Stop it.
I know, but that's the thing with him is that the biggest thing about him was the fucking paint, the body paint.
Yeah. And now instead that we got him walking down the ramp, Credo, with a leather jacket, popping his collar every 2 seconds like it's fucking 1999.
And it's like, trust me, I love Finn Balor. I want him to see, main eventing, but like I came for the demon. I didn't come for, you want to change this guy around. Like, it's bad enough that they had to change his name. He was one of the last few guys that had his name changed. After that, it was Hideo, and then after that, like, everybody just kind of kept their name, but that was his whole thing, man. That was his gimmick. It's like, okay, we're gonna move the Undertaker over to WCW, but he can't be a dead man. He can't, you take away any of his, you give him like a whole new gimmick, and it's like, no, I want to see the Undertaker. Like, I don't care about Dead Incorporated or the motorcycle Dead Man. I want to see I want to see the demon. You know what I mean? Like, that should be every pay-per-view.
Never hear the words that Credo wants to see the Undertaker. You make fun of his appearances at WrestleMania.
I was using it as a metaphor kind of thing.
I know, but I have to. If you're sitting in my seat, the irony of that is fucking hilarious.
the tide's changing, man. That's what the theme's going on. Everything's changing. But I mean, like, that's I wanted a Whopper. I didn't want to, I want the cheese on it. But you took the cheese off, and now I just have a Whopper. Like, I wanted a cheeseburger, and you
Now
gave me a
it's a
hamburger.
Big Mac with no special
I don't know.
sauce.
I could keep going all day. Like, I wanted a Coke. You gave me a Diet Coke. I wanted a pencil, a number 2 pencil. You gave me a number 3 pencil.
You gave me a Bic, and it's dried up.
And it's like, that's, I mean, what is the problem? Why can't he wear fucking body paint every pay-per-view? I get it that not every Raw or every house show, but, like, that's his fucking thing. And if they bring it back, you know, it's...
Especially if he's a champ, Credo. Like, I want to see the Demon defending that belt.
Yeah. Remember it was a long time ago, real quick, I remember they said, like, over a year or two ago, they're like, oh, they're looking for an LGBT whatever kind of character for the show. And then Finn fucking Balor comes out with, like, the gay rainbow. I don't know what to call it. I'm trying to be nice about it. But the rainbow, and then Finn's for everybody. I'm like, what happened? Like, this is where you put the Demon on. And yes, okay, for everybody, I get it, but I didn't. What the hell just happened? Like, what is going on in creative that, like, this is a better idea? Now, I'm not saying anything against.
Apparently, demons are all inclusive, Credo.
But then you got Velveteen Dream, and that kind of fills the void, and whatever. But
what are you trying to say?
I'm trying to say is I want the
Demon.
Demon.
Are you trying to say that Velveteen Dream? You have to ask what his preferred pronoun is?
Preferred pronoun. Oh, he's non-binary. He's
non-binary. Yes.
But anyway, man, Intercontinental Championship match. Bring the Demon back. I know something has to happen because Finn Balor is a great wrestler, but Finn Balor as the Demon is what everybody wants. Anyway, does he lose the championship? I mean, 2 great stories. Give it to Finn, but he's got to keep it at Mania, or you give it to Leo Rush. And you kind of, I don't know, do you split him away from Bobby? Him and Bobby were working.
You're going to be pissed off at me, bro.
Uh-oh.
I say don't even put a belt on Balor. I can't wait for the shakeup after Mania, because I think...
Going to move him.
I think Balor goes to SmackDown.
Oh, that's it right there, too. So if you put the belt on him and he goes to SmackDown, maybe they bring over...
Yeah, they've done that where they've swapped champions, I guess.
So many championships now. It's like they have to
There's
unify.
Really
them.
not. I don't know why you say that.
Well, because my segue is this weekend we're going to see the brand new women's tag team championships.
Ooh, well done. I should have known better.
If we lined out all the belts, though, I mean, Raw tag team, SmackDown tag team, US, IC, World, Universal. Now women's tag team champions and women's championships, free show. It's like, this is what they need to do, is that now that they have this huge roster, it's almost like unify the tag championships. Universal and WWE championship is still good, but they don't need 2 tag teams champions. They don't.
Do you still feel like they should do separate rosters, though? I feel like this, honestly.
It's just a different show, but same roster, like it doesn't need to be SmackDown. I almost
feel like I really like what they did at the beginning, at the first brand split years ago, because what they did was, before Brock Lesnar, when he was undisputed champion, was exclusive to SmackDown, they had the idea where the champion would be on that show for a month. So that gives, like, Raw, suppose the champion is defending it against SmackDown, right?
Yeah.
That champion, that gives the other show the opportunity to build up a number 1 contender. And meanwhile, you can keep the IC belt and the US belt on each show. So at least there's a mid-card title for the workhorses to go after.
No, for sure.
Because I think that Universal title is garbage. I mean, it's a great idea for you to have a champion for each show, but not when the motherfucker shows up once every month and a half.
Yeah, and it's like they have so many people, and it's like you kind of have to cool down some things. Like, I don't need to see Sasha, or I'm just saying whatever, anybody's name, but like Sasha doesn't need to have a match every Raw. She can have a match this week, and then in 2 weeks have a match, and then this way, it counterbalances, and then let's say Bayley is in every other week. But the champion can have a match every week. The champions should have matches every week. But
you're literally copying what I've said.
I know, yeah,
in the past episode.
It's a great formula, yeah.
And everybody thought I was crazy because I'm like, that's why NXT is so successful, because you're not getting tired of seeing, like, Nakamura was awesome, but I only saw him like every other week.
Yeah.
And he wasn't like he was in a match every week. Everybody, as long as everybody's getting some TV time once a month, like, and that's why people, I think, also enjoy UFC. You're not seeing the same fighters
Yeah.
on a monthly pay-per-view. They got a whole roster. I would guarantee you this. No, I take that back. Never mind. I was going to say that UFC probably has a smaller roster than WWE, but you're not seeing the same guys on a card every month. I take that back. I bet you UFC has a ridiculous amount of fucking people on their roster. I'm probably wrong.
No, yeah, but now that's the thing. Now it's one championship though, so it's one women's tag team championship. So I'm kind of curious if this is almost like testing the waters as far as like, well, let's see what we could do back and forth on each show and see how it goes. And then maybe down the line they unify the other ones. I don't know. But it's almost at that point to where at one point it was like, I wish there were more championships because there was like 2. And now there's like so many that where it just like threw up championships.
Yeah.
Even counting NXT UK.
I just farted. There's a new belt. You know
I know.
what I mean?
It's so many going on. So. And then I get it too with the women because it's like how many they don't have like a secondary belt. There's no IC championship kind of thing for the women, and it's almost like you need a women's championship, and then you almost need like the Divas championship. And then
You know what scares me about that is the fact that fucking before the women's revolution, we were seeing the Divas constantly in these like meaningless tag matches.
Yeah.
So now are we just gonna start throwing people together for random tag? Do you know what I mean?
I know. Well,
Like it just and I'm glad that they're only doing one set of these belts because I don't think you have a roster that's deep enough to have 2 sets of tag belts to go with a separate belt for singles on each show. But oh my god, it's just mind-boggling. But at the same time, that's what I'm afraid of. Now we're just gonna have meaningless consistent tag matches for these women when, you know what, some of these girls are probably some of the best one-on-one wrestlers in the business.
Yeah, let me read off some of these names that are in this because almost I can kind of give them some tag team names if we tried this on the spot.
All right, let's try this.
But there's also some that were just thrown together, so it's like that. I get it, but okay. See, Nia Jax and Tamina. I want to call them the Adam's Apples. I think that would be a great team name for the Giants of the
No.
Yeah.
You could do better than that.
The Adam's Apples. Think about it. But okay. Jolly Green Giants. The Jolly Green Giants.
Yeah, because they're both green, and they are pretty big. Yeah, I could see that one.
I'm such a big person of ring gear, and I see Nia Jax, and it's just like she looks like RuPaul stuff. She doesn't. They don't make her. She's big, and she doesn't need to look like a total diva. But then you have Tamina.
Just call them preferred pronouns.
Preferred pronoun. But do you see Tamina? Is it just me, or does her outfit bother anybody?
I can't talk about. You're trying to get me in trouble again.
Well,
last time I talked about Tamina Credo, I got hate mail.
That's right. It's a true story, everybody. Hate mail.
Tamina and Nia Jax are gonna end up in a video together crossing swords. God damn it, I did it again.
Oh man, but you got to see Tamina's outfit because it's like they cut a bathing suit and it just hangs down. It's just like a square flap that hangs in front of. Anyway, you'll see it you'll see it and you'll never unsee it after that. Okay, so the Jolly Green Giants versus the Riot Squad. Liv Morgan, Sarah Logan. They're the Riot Squad. I'm just gonna keep going. Mandy Rose and Sonya Deville. Well, you got one LGBTQ, and then you got Mandy Rose.
What is it with you and the dude? You're gonna get us banned.
I'm trying to be PC about it.
But Sonya Deville, yeah, okay.
Can't say,
okay,
you know, but she's.
Anyway.
I
I think the preferred name now is LGBTQ plus.
Oh, how about just I give it and I take it? Maybe, I don't know. That's too many names. I'm trying to think of a nice little tag name. Anyway.
Give and take?
Give and take. That's it. Give and take. Okay, so we got the Adams. Oh, no, that was.
The Adams Apples. Yeah,
the Adams Apples.
Let's stick with that one because that one's.
Versus the Riot Squad, which is fine. Versus Give and Take. Versus the Iconics. They don't need a new name. No. Versus Sasha Banks and Bayley. Sasha Banks.
What are they called? The Boston Hug Connection.
Boston Hug Connection, and then you got Naomi and Carmella. I don't know. They're like a cheerleading squad.
Strange bedfellows.
Strange bedfellows. Well, anyway, who's winning this, Cooter? Who's people kind of are teasing that the Jolly Green Giants could take it. And
I think that's a possibility. You know who I like though?
I'm sick of
know you hate
Jax
her.
Pushing.
I know you hate her.
I don't hate anybody. Who do I?
Yes. You know what? Because she's on the list of Credo. I like Sarah Logan and fucking what's her face, Liv Morgan for this. I don't know why, because
they need something.
Yeah, well they don't because they've they basically came in as a tag team, and Ruby's definitely like the singles of that group, and
I feel like
Sarah and Liv have been constantly tagging since they've been to the main roster.
And-
so I
yeah.
dig this for them. And they have a cool little gimmick.
And they're kind of like, if you think about it, to me, like I hate Sarah Logan, but I'll give it to her that they've both
She's
been
got
kind of
a
like,
lot better career.
Yeah,
You have
and-
to give that girl some credit.
yeah, and they've both like been the workhorses almost, because I feel like I see them putting over more people than I see anybody else do, and I don't know, I think they actually, when you see them, it's a tag team, you know what I mean? And
Yes.
I think they would benefit with Ruby Riott in front of them, and then especially if they push Ruby Riott after Mania kind of thing and having her win the women's championship, I could dig that. But then also people want to see the Iconics. I mean, there's a lot
Miss
of
Finch and the Riot Squad.
Miss Finch and the Lights. Follow that beak or bird, whatever.
Who do you think's got a bigger beak, Ruby Riott or Ric Flair?
Oh,
Because
man.
that's the second time the Ric Flair joke or the nose joke is coming into play on this show.
Secretly, I hope somebody's sitting at home like, follow that bird, or what'd you say? What's her name again? Miss Finch?
Miss Finch.
I see people right now just Googling it at home, like, Miss Finch, what are they talking about? And I can't wait till they find that one photo.
They're going to be like, oh my God,
He's
you
right.
guys are dicks.
Well,
And you guys thought that the Tamina and Nia Jax joke was bad. Wait till you see this one.
Anyway,
Swords.
Riot Squad, and then how about Iconics? I think the Iconics would look good as the new tag team champions. But it's almost like the Huggins.
No, please don't do that to me.
But
Well,
they put
know
them
why?
together for so long, and it's like somebody hates them. It's like almost who did they piss off backstage? Sasha Banks and Bayley, because Bayley was like the biggest NXT fucking woman before she came up, and then Sasha Banks was. What's she on par with Charlotte Flair as far as like being a women's champion? And then they pushed him over into the corner, Kuter, and they've been sitting on a shelf. And then they're like, at one point, they're like, well, let's just start tagging them because we're eventually going to debut these belts. And it's been like almost over a year they've been tagging with each other, I feel like.
I mean, my whole thing with Sasha obviously pissed somebody off in the back because, I mean,
she had a lot of good things going.
We've heard the rumors about her just being like a twat to fans and shit.
Nope.
Like, I don't know. And I get it, and I feel bad for somebody like her because she's a pretty woman. And I'm sure she gets a lot of unwanted attention, you know. Mike Cologne, I hope you're listening. Stop trying to slide in those DMs. But you know, where that comes with backstage heat. Bayley was over when she first got there. And
they didn't know what to do with her on the main roster, I feel like.
Yeah, and because of that, her fucking run got stale.
Yep.
And she couldn't, and she didn't get herself over because she thought, if I stick to my NXT character, my NXT model, it's going to get over in the main roster. Adam Rose, bitch. There's a whole giant list of people whose NXT gimmicks did not work on the main roster.
Have you seen her with her hair down? She looks a lot cuter, I guess is the word. She looks better with her hair down than the fucking side ponytail.
Did you take a Blue Chew before the show? What are you, horned up today?
I'm just trying to, Okay, so listen to this. If you put her hair down, she'd probably look a little bit different, and she could probably get away with whatever new gimmick for Bayley. But then I feel like Sasha Banks is the only one left dyeing her fucking hair like they're in the Divas Revolution still, you know what I mean? And it's like she's the only one being ridiculous. Like, how the girls, I think Becky Lynch is still overdoing it with the orange because her hair isn't that orange. And it's like, remember at one point everybody had to have like a different color so they could tell them apart on the TV. And then, anyway.
Yeah, we have high definition, 4K. We don't need the brightness of these fucking colors at this point. Yeah.
That's the way she stands out, but it's like.
Instead of 4 horsewomen, we have purple, orange, bleach blonde, and brunette. Really, they could not get any more fucking Jesus. You want to talk about gentrifying your women's division? Holy fuck.
So, well, at the end of the day, out of all those names, though, I think, like you said, the Riot Squad would be a great thing. I think perfect choice, too, would be the Iconics for this. But at the end of this is a big kind of a match. Do we see just a regular tag match at WrestleMania for all these women? Or are they going to not do the Women's Royal Rumble and they're just going to do another big, like, whatever,
I hope they get rid of these Battle Royals for the Mania. Unless they keep them on the pre-show.
There's too many. Just, do the men's and then do this for the women. Like, they could do it for the Women's Tag Team Championship. Do, like, tag teams this year or something.
Especially, if you're going to be there. Like, you know what? Maybe put one on the show and one on the pre-show so I can piss before the show. and then like you're gonna need a piss break in that 9-hour show.
Yep.
So I mean, hey, Battle Royal, like goose. Who's gonna be the next asshole who has to carry that trophy around for a couple of months and pose next to Andre? Oh fuck.
Oh man. Well, you know, one quick match, which is going to be surprising to what happens if they don't scrap it, because Jimmy Uso was arrested the other day for fucking trying to beat up a cop, like going at the cop, like taking.
You don't know the whole story. You
Okay,
know
allegedly.
Here's the thing. Like, what was he pulled over for, and why are you trying to square off with a cop?
So Naomi was going the wrong way on a one-way street, and then when they pulled him over, it smelled like booze in the car, so they wanted him to get out. And Naomi was talking to him, and then Jimmy, like, I guess, just got out of the car and started taking off.
He was drunk. Okay, gotcha.
And the cop said that he was scared, that he was almost or about to, or was afraid he would have to use his taser on him. So I don't know how wild he got or whatnot, but that's bad PR. Do you think they scrap his match for this weekend, or it's just going to go on as is because whatever?
Dude, I'm going to laugh so hard, and I'm going to be texting
if they
you
win
in
too.
Chat. Well, no, because Shane and Miz are obviously keeping these belts now. There's got to be like punishment, you know. And now we have these two fucking guys are going to be stuck with it, unless the Usos get those belts off of them.
Yeah.
And if the Usos win those belts, I guarantee you they drop them in a week or two.
Yeah.
To somebody else, like
fast
the Bar.
lane, yeah. It'll be a fast lane to the Uso penitentiary. So
Usos going back to the pre-show.
It's like they don't have any good tag teams. They gotta fucking make the Miz and Shane a tag team.
Pre-show last year for Mania. Because we always used to laugh that they're always on the pre-show, but I wonder if they made.
Yeah,
because
they
lost the belts to the Bludgeons.
That's right. Don't even get into that. Fuck. So what else we got here? We've talked about a bunch of these.
Elimination Chamber match.
Yeah, well, let's talk about the Raw Women's Championship match really quick. Ronda Rousey versus Ruby Riott. I think it'll be, I don't know, it's going to be a match, but Ronda's not fucking losing that belt till Mania, right?
Cool story, bro.
Right?
Yeah.
So,
cool story, bro.
There's nothing else that, there's no, like, you could put $1 million on this and not lose that $1 million. I don't know. All right, so it's the Elimination Chamber. Kuter, this could be an interesting thing. But once again, I'm going to say that theory that we're 2 pay-per-views away from Mania, and why change the belt? Why do it? Especially this fucking sweet 100% metal-free, whatever, Nature's Pantry WWE Championship.
What's so fucking great about this is who do you put against them?
Yeah.
Because, I mean, me and Mike were talking about this earlier. Kofi Kingston looked fantastic in that fucking... I mean, he did his version of Seth Rollins in that gauntlet match.
He's paid his dues, man. Like, he paid his dues in NXT, and he's already paid his dues on the main roster as far as just hanging out. Like, they need to switch it up.
Well, no, I wouldn't say NXT 205 Live you're talking. But the point that Mike made earlier was that he had a feeling that was supposed to be Mustafa Ali cleaning house like that on SmackDown this week. Think about it. Kofi Kingston got a clean pin on the WWE champion. Daniel Bryan was the first one eliminated from that match. By Kofi Kingston, Mr. Royal Rumble gimmick, my feet haven't touched the floor, Kingston? Are you kidding me right now?
Well, you know, Kuter, I don't know if you guys mentioned this, but this is what people are talking about, is that, and it seems like maybe it's just a big conspiracy theory, but a lot of the unhappy talents, in order to help, I don't know, I don't want to get too much into this, I want to talk about it for like a minute, but a conspiracy theory is that with a kind of a competition in the background, such as maybe AEW, I know, I'm just saying what's on the interwebs, as Mike would say, that, you know, people that are unhappy are getting what they want because they're doing a lot of new contracts backstage with the whole.
Oh yeah, Kofi Kingston's gonna go to. Are you? You're another one.
Do
you know how much money?
But could he?
You know how much money he makes in that group? Why would anybody in their right mind want to not be a member of the New Day? Probably the most over tag team, original WWE tag team in history.
And I hear you, and I'm not saying they're going anywhere, but I feel like it almost feels like a lot of unhappy people are getting
gotta give
pushes.
Kofi Kingston the title now. Oh yeah.
There was a lot of good feedback. A lot of people. Somebody posted in the
Imagine
group
Big
the
E
other day.
grinding on AEW television. There is no fucking AEW television. Move on, bro.
But
You alone, you're both living in a fucking dream world. This is what happens, bro. This guy Tony Khan is gonna be Dixie Carter, a mark, running a fucking wrestling company. Don't say this for the rest of the fucking episode, bro.
I know. Well, a lot of good feedback. People wanted to see him change. Somebody posted a picture as him as champion, and I don't know, it's different. But does it almost seem like okay, out of all the championships, kind of putting it on somebody else at this point, like the WWE Championship, is almost like a nod, especially if they get it off him like at Mania or before Mania, to where we want you to be champion, but we really don't want to keep it on you. Like, we want to give it to somebody else, kind of a thing, to where I feel like if any chance at any moment in time during the whole year, this is the time where if they did give it to anybody like a Kofi or maybe back to Jeff Hardy, or I'm just saying other names like a Randy Orton or AJ Styles, it's not a long-term win. It's just something they have to move around in the storyline.
I don't know, bro. You know what? It's fucked
weird.
up. You say that, but you said it for years that you would love to see Kofi get like a good push.
Yeah.
You know,
I mean, go back to fucking Jinder Mahal. If they could put it on Jinder Mahal,
yeah, you could put it. You're absolutely right.
Yeah.
And Kofi's somebody who's paid his dues. Listen. Are they putting the belt on Kofi Kingston? No, but should they? Yes. Do you know why? I feel like Kofi was one of those guys who was ahead of his time. He was very, very athletic. Now,
he's still
in the days
athletic.
He started, yeah, exactly. But now you're surrounded by a roster that is as
keep up with him,
as he is. I mean, I think if Kofi was to get a push, the matches he could potentially have with an AJ Styles, you know,
even Daniel Bryan, you know, like any of the like.
Fuck Daniel Bryan. Like I don't even want to care about that fucking idiot. But listen, I could see a title match, and you guys think it's crazy. Kofi Kingston, Andrade Cien Almas. I think that would be a barn burner.
Yeah, man.
I think that would be amazing.
I think they need to, like, and I'm not going back to the other thing where fans are unhappy, they want to see this other show and whatever, but you have such talent there now that they're almost being held back so much because, yes, they have to do it every week at a lot more places than anybody else, but at the same time, these guys are so talented, you keep them in this little hokey gimmick. Yeah. Break that open, man. Let them do what they can do, and
and you made perfect mention of it earlier. When you brought up the Jinder Mahal thing,
yeah,
that was so smart of them to try it.
Yep.
It was, but okay, so it failed with one person and you stopped doing it. That's where you should have been like, all right, it was worth a shot, but let's try it with somebody else, because that was in a time where all you had was a Roman Reigns and a Brock Lesnar. It's time to start building some new guys up, because AJ, listen, they built up AJ, they gave him a good push. His run is over. Who's the next guy, Credo?
I know.
Because Daniel Bryan is not exactly a spring chicken either.
No, exactly. I mean, they're up there. They're up there in age, and it's like, yeah, they could still do it for a little bit, but
how much longer do you think somebody like Jeff Hardy is going to be doing a swanton bomb, bro?
And that's the thing, like Randy Orton example, to where they don't build at one point before a lot of these other guys came up. Randy Orton, they didn't really build up anybody else, and he'd hold on to the championship, and it was just like, for switching the WWE Championship around, I'm not saying it has to move around every month, but it doesn't need to stay on guys for like over a year, 400 days, you know what I mean? Like, just it could.
What? Let me ask you a question. You just talked about Randy Orton,
yeah,
right? Do you notice how he just kind of like ran into the ring at the end of the show, right? And hit somebody with an RKO and wins that gauntlet match, right?
Yeah.
What did he do prior to the Rumble? He came out of nowhere at the end of a show and just hit somebody with an RKO. Didn't he draw like number 30 or something in the Royal Rumble?
He was towards the end, yeah, I forgot.
Yeah, so my point is this. This motherfucker gets to come in at the end of every show, work for like 30 seconds, get a paycheck. Sure, for all you people who complain about Brock Lesnar, Randy Orton might be here every week, but he's only on TV for about 30 seconds.
Yep.
Brock Lesnar at least works like a 10-minute match and stands in the ring for 10 minutes while Paul Heyman talks.
Yeah.
Listen. My point is going to be this. Add up all the accumulated time that Brock Lesnar has been on TV. add up all the accumulated time that Randy Orton has been on TV, and tell me who's been on TV longer.
That'd be good math for all the listeners out there. Well,
Do it, bitches.
But at the end of the day, I'll tell you what, man. That I love that he made the belt into fucking wood, because that's so like it's totally better than what the spinner was. Like it's just so
fucking hippie too, right?
It's funny though. It's totally funny, but I don't see them getting rid of it after 1 month, or I could see it at Mania, yes, but I mean until then, like it's so funny right now to just have it on there, and to see maybe somebody to win it at Mania, burn it, and just reveal the WWE Championship or whatever, that'd be fun. But I'll tell you, man, I think it's got to stay on Daniel Bryan this weekend. But
yeah.
if you really...
I just want to see. I want to see a video of Daniel Bryan walking through the forest with his title and hugging every tree, saying, "I'm sorry.
I'm sorry.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry I did this. I'm sorry. I have this wooden belt. I'm sorry."
I think I made
just
fun
hug
of
every tree.
I think I made fun of it last week or the week before. I was like, it's great that it's environmentally friendly, but if they start making fucking replicas of this shit, they're gonna fucking cut down more trees than they did with metal. It's gonna be funny. But yeah, I'll tell you what, man. I think Daniel Bryan's gonna win it, but if it's gonna go to somebody, I think putting it on Samoa Joe before Mania would be a nice little fun program for 2 months for whoever else to face him at Mania. So I don't know. I think it'd be exciting. But
Daniel Bryan this week, when he was up against Kofi, did you notice he seemed a hell of a lot more into his? I don't want to say he's always been a good wrestler, but he seemed to like focus a lot more on his ground game and actual holds, as opposed to just like, because I know he's been stopping it, the flying as much, and he's had to change it, but he just seemed to like really get back to his roots this week with the grounding of the opponent and just grinding out like actual wrestling moves. Like, dude, there's a lot of guys I would love to see Daniel Bryan wrestle, but actually wrestle like Pete Dunne or Drew Gulak. To me, that's what I want to see.
Man, it's so, because I just keep thinking to where no matter what, here's my scenarios. Daniel Bryan wins this, yada yada yada. He goes to Mania. He loses at Mania because he's won some big matches at Mania. I think it's time for him to put somebody over at Mania, which is fine. But even if he loses, so if he loses at the Chamber, I think he has to take the pin in order to give that push to Samoa Joe, Kofi Kingston, whoever else. It's like AJ Styles was a great champion, but it's
what do you mean take a pin? What are you talking about?
To win the Chamber, right? He's got to.
Well, everybody, it's elimination, Credo. It's not one pinfall. So if he's
he has
to
be the last guy, yeah.
I see what you're saying. He has to be the last guy eliminated.
Yeah, so like he has to get pinned or whatever, and but like AJ Styles, as great of a champion he is, I don't know. I don't think he needs it anymore almost. You know what I mean? Like, he's at a stage to where he doesn't need it anymore, but he can still have great matches. Samoa Joe would be great because I want to see what he did down in NXT with it. Randy Orton, forget that. He's just there to fucking fill it. Kofi Kingston would be a nice surprise, man, I think, and well-deserved, even if he lost it at Mania kind of a thing.
Is it so sad to me that Samoa Joe has become a footnote in every fucking conversation? I love him, too.
But even Jeff Hardy too, man. It's it's like one of those guys to where he's just there to help put people over now. And I don't know. Kofi Kingston, Samoa Joe would be a nice sleeper win. But I don't know. I'm still sticking with Daniel Bryan winning.
How is Andrade Cien Almas not in this match?
And there's a lot. So this is both Raw and SmackDown, and surprisingly too, Asuka's not on the match. They've fucking been keeping that women's championship like hidden. Like we forgot all about Asuka kind of a thing.
Well, not only that, we've built nobody up for her for Mania, and now that we know that Rollins is officially up against Brock Lesnar at Mania, who the fuck goes up against the WWE champion, whoever that may be?
Yeah, it's crazy.
Because I don't want another rushed fucking storyline where we're going to have to wait until Fastlane now to figure out who the number one contender is going to be or some shit like that. Like, I like to see a nice, drawn-out build-up. Like, I want to know where I'm going. I don't just get into a car and drive aimlessly,
Maybe we can have another yes movement by all the Twitter heads out there to tell them to remove Fastlane so they don't even fucking do it. Save your money, and we'll just go right till Mania.
There you go.
Let's get the hashtag remove Fastlane. Man, but either way, it's still the road to WrestleMania. I'm gonna have fun watching it. I don't know.
Oh, who's Brock Lesnar wrestling?
Brock Lesnar is exactly fucking this guy, man. I'll tell you what. You gotta give him credit for this kind of fucking deal because he's the one laughing to the fucking bank every
Good
week.
for
To where
him. I'm not even mad at it, bro.
I know. I'm sitting home collecting money. Hey, man. I wish I could do it too. I wish I could have done that
Can you
too.
imagine, like, seriously, think of it this way. He works like once every 3 months, Credo.
Nope.
He's got a fucking bank account full of cash. He's probably his kitchen table is probably made of cash. He goes home to Sable every night and calls her a fucking loser because, like, he's Brock Lesnar and he can do whatever the fuck he wants.
Dude, I was just scrolling through fucking Facebook or Twitter or something in videos, and no, it was Instagram, and there was a video of Brock Lesnar shooting. He would throw up watermelons in the air, shoot it with a shotgun, and then he'd go over to the watermelon and eat it, and I think he was spitting out the bullets. Like, that's Brock Lesnar right there. I'd never seen this video before, and
he's a psycho, dude.
He's tossing the watermelons up in the air, shoots it with the shotgun.
What kind of man? Not only that, but think of it this way. He lives in Canada. He packed up his wife, Sable, and said, bitch, we're moving to Canada. Love it or leave it.
Man.
Right? And fucking she went, Sable went with Brock Lesnar to Canada? Why?
Yes, I know. Ugh. Anyway, man, it's Elimination Chamber. I can't wait to shoot some watermelons with my shotgun, I guess.
I can't wait
to
talk about AEW next week with the minority one. Oh my God, Ronnie.
No, man. Episode 210.
I thought I wasn't going to fit that in the show, Credo, at some point, because I didn't. I will.
I love it. 210 episodes in. Here we go.
Bitches.